Hey y'all, welcome to Other Realm Studio. This is Paula, and I'm not terribly late this time around. Let's see, today wait a minute. What is this? Okay. Today I'm going to be working on a basilisk, not the lizard that actually exists. Oh, and yesterday, I did an adorable little panda because Jerryberry 180 wanted one, but it was too late for me to take requests. So I did one yesterday. But tonight I got to do a new basilisk because I had a better concept for it. So let me see about where should I start it on the page. I do want to leave some room. Hang on. I do want to leave some room on here for a little bit of text. Yeah, so far it's going to look a little bit like an ostrich, which is fine because, you know, ostriches are terrifying. Hey Deborah, how you doing? So my thought is something a little bit more like a cross between a cassowary and a velociraptor. My placement here might not be perfect. Oh, wait. It's that tool. Well, the trick really is to have an idea of the basic shapes that you want to start with. I don't usually do the circle technique, but sometimes it's useful. Also, I don't really know that I want to keep it in a straight profile like this. So another thing that I could do, start with the base of the head this way still. But have it turned a bit. It's a little hard to do with the other lines. Already on here. So I know there's a lot better artists than me out there. But really, after a point, it's all a matter of practice. So I expect I'll get there too. Now for the claws, it's actually very similar to drawing a hand. So the same sort of thing that applies to doing a hand study applies here. So you get the basic shape and the gesture in, except, you know, back here is where the thumb goes. And then you determine where the knuckles are going to be. And remember, the one in the middle is going to be a little longer. So you can't have these two flat. Okay, somebody's left a door open. So yeah, picking up just a little bit of the TV show. If I keep hearing that, I might have to go make sure that door gets shut. Okay. So this is just a sketch to make sure that it's coming out the way that I want it to. And then what I'll do next is put another layer on top and do the actual line art there. Let's see. I want to go with this. So it's not going to have like a full coat of feathers. I think I'm going to do like half feathers and half scales. And I need to work out exactly what shape I'm going to do the tail feathers here. So I think having a little bit of an arch to them will work out well. Like a rooster. Okay, time for a new layer. And what's a more reasonable color than hot pink? And, alright, hold on just a second. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's see, I had to go tuck in Miss Chaos. Let me get set up just a minute here. Yeah, I think I'll be able to do a pretty decent one before I have to go. So this is, let's see, I do think that maybe the nostril here ought to be up here then. That seems more accurate to something. It seems more realistic, I guess. So, in my story, there's an assassin's guild that call themselves basilisks, supposedly because you don't live after you've been targeted by one or by the group. They wanted something scary. Let's see. And I do have pin back buttons that I make to look like a basilisk eye. So let me see. Where should I start this beak? That looks plausible to me. So I have not yet heard exactly when my print run's supposed to be. I heard early June was when it was scheduled to go to print. And hey, it's early June now. So I'm excited about that. I can't believe it's June already, but that's a separate issue. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting any day now to hear that my books have been printed and are on their way. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm really excited. And I'll probably do an unboxing video. I need to set up my phone to record. See if I have anything that I need to do. I don't know if I should do like a live video from my phone. Probably not, honestly. Let's see, we'll want a claw here. These things should have all kind of claws. So yeah, I need to work out how to do a video from my phone, record that, upload it to YouTube, all that good stuff, without cluttering up my phone too much with apps and things. I got a lot of scales and feathers on this one, so I hope I can get this one done in this session, because I don't have a whole lot of time. I also have my novel that I'm busy editing. I finished reading all the editor's notes. I have a bit of an idea of where I should go to fix the issues. It was a little scary. It's been a while since I've had an editor for anything that I've written, but overall, things are good. I mean, I just need to work out how to iron out some plot issues and slow down, because when I was writing, I didn't have a whole lot of time to actually write, and I couldn't let myself overthink it or I wouldn't have finished it. So I found myself like skipping over and writing a bunch of summaries and doing the whole telling instead of showing thing, which you're not really supposed to do. which it's alright for a draft, but we really do want an actual, real, finished book to have a bit more polish to it than that. So I'm really looking forward to getting it done. And I'm also hoping that next year I'll get to go to LibertyCon in Tennessee, which is a pretty major con for my publisher, Silver Empire. And their guests this year and a lot of the other authors on the same project, well, on the Heroes Unleashed project, are getting to go, and like as soon as space opened up to go to the con, it sold out. So I really didn't have a shot. I kind of heard about it like after everybody had already gotten their tickets. And I didn't even have time to, check in and see if I'd be able to go. And the dates and everything. But I'm really hoping for next year. Next year, it's going to be June 13th and 14th. So with any luck, I'll be in Tennessee. And I already checked, it's like 90 minutes from Wartburg. It's in Chattanooga. So I probably won't have time to go visit family. Sorry. The whole thing is pretty tightly scheduled, and yeah, there's a lot to be done, even though it's a smaller science fiction and fantasy con. Okay, I think I can make this a little bit smaller than the sketch had it, because if I can make it look more realistic, then it'll look better. Okay, I keep doing the sketchy thing. I need to make smoother lines. Probably one of the things that'll help is working really big and then shrinking it down. So that would probably smooth out my lines some. Let's see, what else has been going on? There's kittens, of course, naturally. What else? That are living in my bathtub right now. Fortunately, we have a separate shower, so we're not really that inconvenienced. But the kitten's been trying to get out. It's funny. So the mama cat sits on the edge of the tub and looks down at them, and they're all bouncing and meowing at her. And whenever they get too close to jumping out the top, she whacks them back down again. It's like kitten whack-a-mole. It's great. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can exaggerate how thin this is. Yeah, sure. Why not completely change my design of the foot on the fly after I've already drawn one? Sure. It's okay. It's digital. There are no eraser marks. So the kittens have gotten to where they'll try and ask people for things. They're not interested in kitten food yet. Well, one of them will eat food if it's wet down enough for him. But no, what they want from you, they want you to stick your hand in there so that they can grab on with their tiny little needle-like claws and climb out, like using you as a ladder or a rope. And they'll mew at you adorably until you do it again. So, yeah, it's like sticking your hand in a vat of piranhas. A little cute mewing vat of piranhas. Let's see. Something went a little bit wonky right here. See if I can fix that. So yeah, yay, kittens. They're cute and they're learning to manipulate people already. It's nice that they like people though. So they will be good and friendly for when they go to their new homes. We're still looking for homes for the orange ones. The orange ones are all temporarily named Naruto. But, you know, whoever ends up getting them is certainly allowed to name them whatever they like. It's just, I've been watching Naruto lately. It's funny. Oh, let me scoot this over. Oh, interesting. I suppose just scoot the bottom layer as well. Yeah, what really helps when drawing velociraptor things, owning chickens. So I kind of have an idea of what the balance should look like. Okay, let's pop another layer on. Move that one down and see what we can do about some texture. Yeah, I think that did select a little too much. I'll come over here, go back to where I was. And we'll try and separate that out. All right. So it wasn't the airbrush that did so well on that. It was, is it hatching effect? No. Ah, here we are. In Sand Cloud. Oh yeah, and in Darken. So that'll work. So what this does is it gives a almost blurred effect. A slightly blurred effect with this regular curved texture that's a little bit like hammered metal. Or if you've ever done a rubbing over texture with like a crayon and paper and rubbed over some kind of surface, then, you know, it's very similar to that. So if I'm careful to go in the same direction as I want my scale pattern, then it'll line up and look more like scales. Let's see. So yeah, I'm liking that texture. I think it works. And I did use the same one on the mermaid earlier, or a few days ago. And I thought it was quite interesting then. But I did want the mermaid to be a good bit more glossy, so I used another one with it. But here, I think what I can do, I can just get away with shading instead of also going over it with an overlay. Alright, what's going on with this one? Alright, undo. Uh-oh. What's going on? Why is it fussing? I see it. This one down here was still selected. Alright, so if I want to take this and make it the rest of the scale pattern, coming down the front of the neck, then I'll need to come up with another texture to use for feathers. Oh yeah, there was one more thing, one more interesting bit of news. Borderlands Comics and Games is going to be having a geek market July 13th, I believe. Whatever weekend's like really close to that. And I've already paid for my spot. I get to go. It's going to be awesome. It's just one day from, I think, 10 to 4. So that's not terrible. And it does make up at least a little bit for the library not being, not having a Comic-Con this year. This is interesting. Okay, now I know this says flame here, but this is going to make a really nice texture for the tail, because I'll want that to be glossy. And come out in plumes. So yeah, I think that's really going to work out. But first I need to erase that. Alright. Now instead of trying to come down here and use the auto select, I'm going to use the lasso tool to outline where I want my lines to stay. So that I'll have a little bit of control. And I'll probably come back and erase. Let's see. And I want to go a little like the turquoise black, I think. Something darker. And how big should this be? Redo, I want that back. So this will have some nice long plumes to it. See, look how that's coming out. Never would have thought using flame I'd get a nice rooster tail effect. So that's why it's important to use all the tools you have at your disposal before you go buy new ones. You just never know. Sometimes things might work out really well. And I might be able to go smaller and do the wing feathers as well to match. So yeah, that I'm also going to want to use the lasso tool for. And I'll come in here and follow this jagged mess that I've made of the wing tips, or the wing edges, more than the tips really. My coordination's gotten a little bit better, which is great, because it's really not always easy to follow lines with the lasso tool. And it's almost time for me to go. So I should go ahead and tell you that if you want to keep up with what I'm doing with the comic, with Other Realm Studio, with all my stuff, you can come visit my website at www.otherrealmstudio.com. I have a lot more of my art on the site. I also have a way to pre-order the comic. The Kickstarter specials aren't there anymore, but you can still get the comic. I'll still mail it to you. I'll have some extra copies ready. And also, if you have any kind of retail space, I will be happy to give you a discount. Well, actually, better than a discount on a copy of, or well, several copies, if you'd like to sell my comic in your store. The comic is called Soulbound. It's volume 1 is issue 1 is Soulbound Adrift. It's about a med student who is suddenly thrown into another world of monsters, myth, and magic. This is one of the creatures from that world. That could be encountered. Invert selected area. That'll help. That will be very handy indeed. All right. And deselect. Okay, so lost track of what I was saying. About time for me to sign off though. So yeah, if you're interested in my comic or in keeping up with everything that I'm coming out with, I've got a lot going on lately, so I'm really excited to share it with you all. So visit my website. Let me grab this and write it down up here. It's www.otherrealmstudio.com. I actually handwrote that whole thing and have room for all of it. So keep in mind, no spaces, but it's otherrealmstudio.com. Although I also have the .studio domain, so I have otherrealm.studio, and it leads to the same place. So let me save this. Always save. I've been dealing with a lot of crashes lately. I don't know why. I probably need to sort through and update all my drivers for various stuff. Alright, so here we are with the basilisk. He's not entirely finished. I need to work on his textures for his little ridge here, and his beak, and the main body. But so far so good. I'm kind of liking him. And for the Other Realm Studio field guide, I'm going to have a description of what a basilisk is and where they can be found, and what cultural impact they have on the world. That sort of thing. And that's one of the rewards that comes with my Kickstarter for the first comic. Kickstarter's over, but the comic's still available on my website. You can pre-order that, and I'll try and ship them all out so that they will be there by July 31st, because I should be well before July 31st, and I can pack them in that amount of time. Any day now. I'm so excited. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping me company. I appreciate y'all so much. I finally get to do what I've always wanted to do. And I'm improving at it. But I couldn't do it without you. Or if I was doing it without you, it wouldn't be a very good reason to be doing anything. I would like to communicate with people and share my stories, and that's what it's about. There's not much point in making up all this stuff if I don't ever get to share it with anybody. So, good night, and I'll see you in the other realm.